Hello and welcome to another episode of Embrace Your Outdoor Space. Today we're going to be looking up. We're going to be staring up into the canopy because the leaves are dropping, exposing the branches. And with all that stormy weather we're having, we want to make sure our trees are kept in the best health possible. So it's time to start tackling some of that loftier lopping and chopping. And in order to do so, I'm going to need a pole chainsaw. Take that tree.
What are you doing?
You said to cut the tree with a pole chainsaw.
Yeah, the Greenworks pole chainsaw.
Ah, yeah, no, that makes sense. Whether you're fighting with your Fagus, tackling your Taxus, or looking to lop your laurel, one of the easiest ways to battle the branches is by using a cordless pole chainsaw. So why a cordless pole chainsaw? Well, it's all about the reach. And I don't just mean a reach up into the canopy, I mean a reach around your garden. I'm not tethered by cords and cables, and I'm not having to contend with the weight and the noise of a petrol engine. And with a petrol engine, you also get another element to the equation. You get the fumes. So this is all in all, it's a much easier to use, instant power, and that flexibility to move and cut on the go. Now, when it comes to using a pole chainsaw, it's all about safety. Whenever you're using any cutting implement in the garden, safety first. I can't stress this enough. Wear sensible clothing. If you're cutting down branches at height, make sure you've got something to protect your head. Make sure you've got something to protect your face and your eyes, some goggles or a face guard. Dress sensibly. Make sure you've got some gloves on. And if possible, grab yourself some chainsaw trousers or some good rugged work trousers, as well as some work boots. And it's all about keeping an eye on what you're cutting. You want to make sure that the butt of the chain blade is pressed up against the branch, and then that is when you start to activate the cutting blade. So in this case, we're going to take away this bit of diseased branch here, butt up, pull down, and let the tool do the work. Yeah, not very dramatic, but it shouldn't be dramatic. It should be safe. And the virtue of not having to contend with the boisterous, loud petrol engine is that I've got a good, safe working environment. I can hear what's going on in my surroundings, and I've always got my eye on what it is I'm cutting to make sure that if anything does drop, I'm avoiding it as it does fall. But what is it I'm actually cutting? Well, at the moment, I'm trying to cut away some of the diseased and dead or dying wood. And as you can see here, we've already got an opening on the side of this branch here, which is going to start allowing all the moisture in, all the detritus, all the leaf fall builds up into there. And essentially what happens is the branch starts rotting from the outside in. Eventually that's going to make sure that this branch either rots off completely, or worse still, falls off. And last thing I want is that when I haven't actually got a hard hat on my head. The other thing we're looking at is fungal infection as well, and that can manifest in a whole variety of different ways, particularly prevalent on your fruit trees. So if you've got a manky looking malus, this is an opportune time to start cutting back some of the more diseased limbs. And then there's storm damage to contend with. But what does storm damage look like? It will start with a fissure in one of the branches, and eventually that will open up. And this is caused by high winds or storms. As soon as that starts to split and open, that allows the ingress of moisture and the plant itself starts rotting from the inside. Now you add the weight of the canopy and the foliage come the summer months onto these branches, and that is going to split straight down the middle. And the last place you want to be is underneath when it does eventually split. So it's a great time now when you can see and identify that damage and take a preemptive measure without affecting any of the plant itself. So look, that's a prime example of a decaying branch. It's a mixture of both wind and weather, but also fungal infection as well. So that whole branch needs to come off. Just stand right underneath. It could be really good if you get that drop in. Yeah. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay. Safety first. Now this isn't just indiscriminate felling. We're felling with a purpose. We're taking the stress off of the plant, because if this branch cracks in the wind or starts becoming susceptible to more moisture ingress, the bigger the branch, the more of a negative effect that's going to have on the overall tree. And it's also increasing the safety of your garden as well, especially if you've got kids and young kids or big kids who like climbing trees. Man, I am old. Oh, don't put this bit in the video. Such a sleek mover, aren't I? Then you want to make sure those trees are as safe as possible. It's just a nice bit of peace of mind. And the good thing about when you drop these is that you could actually use them in the log burner or fuel over the winter months. So to recap, here are a few do's and don'ts when it comes to using a pole chainsaw. Do dress appropriately. Make sure you protect your head, your hands, your eyes, and your feet. Don't get carried away. Pole chainsaws are designed to help you safely cut down branches, not entire trees. Do keep an eye on your chain oil levels. It's essential that we keep our bar and chain lubricated to maximize cutting efficiency, and you do so by simply unscrewing the cap at the top and then filling up with a good quality chainsaw chain oil. Don't stand directly underneath the branch that you're cutting. Try and keep a 45-degree angle between you and the branch. This allows you to see what you're cutting, and it also allows you to avoid any falling branches. Now, any time of the year we can find ourselves with plenty of work to do in order to enjoy and maintain our outdoor spaces. And as the seasons change and the tasks change, it's nice to know that with an ever-growing range of cordless garden tools, all we have to worry about changing is our battery from one tool to another. If you want to find out any more, check out the link at the end of the video.